Hey guys, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be testing out a brand new palette. I literally got this in the mail like 30 minutes ago. Got everything set up and now we're filming. It is 6:41 at night. I got to get this filmed and edited for tomorrow morning. But I am super excited to test out the brand new Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette. This is replacing the original Naked palette they discontinued last year, and I did not own the original one, and I didn't like the colors in the original one so much, but this one intrigued me. So the packaging on this is completely different than all of their previous ones. I do have the Naked 3 palette, and honestly I don't like the Naked 3 palette. I do love their Born to Run palette. This is my #1 favorite palette of all time right now. Packaging, quality, everything of this is absolutely amazing. So I'm hoping that the new one's gonna be more along the lines of this than this. So that is my hope, because I honestly have barely touched this. I wanted it for so long because I love the tones in this, but it doesn't perform well enough for me. And I really hate this packaging. I'm not sure what it is. It is metal, so it's fine, but I don't know. I don't like the way it closes. I don't like this packaging. So the new one is a little bit sleeker and slimmer. It's about the same size, but it's thinner. And the top part of it's got like this squishy feel. It's fabric and cardboard. So it may actually be a little bit less sturdy than the previous, but I do prefer this personally. It's very slim. Okay. So on the inside, there is a really thin mirror, which I think could have been a little bit bigger, but it's fine. You can see your eyes. So anyway, so here are the shades in the Naked Reloaded palette. Absolutely gorgeous. This is the first time I'm seeing it in person, and it is very pretty. It is a little bit warmer than I was expecting. It is pretty warm. I've seen people compare it to the Sultry palette, and the Sultry palette has a good mix of warm and more neutral tones. So here they are side by side. I can see the comparisons, but I don't think that they're exact. And I'm going to swatch these side by side so you can see them, but I feel like this is a lot warmer than this. And just at first glance, I like this one more. But we'll see how it performs in the eyes. I'm giving this one to my mom, so I really hope that I fall in love with this one, because this one is destined for another home. So I'm gonna swatch these first, and then I'm gonna put them on my eyes. I'm just really curious. So let's start with Bribe. Ooh. Oh, that's really soft. Right here. So there is Bribe. It's basically my skin tone. Barely Baked. That one's pretty. It's a little bit more coppery than I normally go for. This one's the one I hope looks good. This is Angel Fire, because this is my kind of shade. And it's not quite as shimmery as the other one, but it is a little bit more, it's a pinky toned champagne looking color. And here is Retro. That one looks like it's gonna perform well. I like that one. Reputation. That one does well. Burn. Ooh, that's pretty. Yeah, let's go to the other arm. End Game. This is the darkest shade in the palette. That's pretty good. Dream Weaver. This one's a little chunky. A little bit chunky. And it's got like some silver glitters in it. Not my favorite, but here is Distilled. It's a nice chocolatey tones down here. Here is Bucked. Ooh, that one didn't do so well. Let me try again. It's really like, I don't know. They're a little bit crumbly, not gonna lie. Boundaries, this one's super soft. That one's very warm toned. And then the last one is Blur. And this one's just a little bit darker than my skin tone. So there are the shades. There are the shades in the palette. Wow, I did these a lot closer together than these. I am going to probably, if I've got time, I hope, insert some swatches, close up and brush swatches to show you how they brush swatch as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and put them on the eyes because I am dying to see how they perform on the eyes and look on the eyes. And I've seen some videos where people do one eye, one palette, one eye, the other, but I honestly want to give this palette some attention for this video. So I'm gonna do both eyes with this palette, and then I will do some side-by-side comparisons just so you can see the shades towards the end. But let's get into the eyes. All right, so I don't know what direction I want to go, but let's start. I really like how slim this is. It's really easy to hold. We're gonna start with Bribe. It is a little bit dusty. A lot of bit dusty, actually. Wow. Oh, come on, Decay, pull through, please. I really want to like this palette. So they are right about the same price. This one is $44 and the Sultry one is $45. I did look today. The Sultry is still available on Ulta.com at the moment when I'm filming this. Man, that's a lot of powder. But the Sultry palette is a limited edition palette, so if it is something you want, get it right now because I'm assuming that it's going to be gone. Okay, and then I'm gonna take Blur. That one's not as powdery, but still very powdery. And let's see if we can build up a little color in the crease. This is interesting, it looks a lot darker on than it does in the pan. Interesting. But I am liking this as a transition. Okay. Ignore the rest of my makeup. I put it on earlier today and it's kind of crumbled into a mess, but I want to go ahead and take the pink shade in here. This is called Retro. Yeah, the mattes are here. Let me see if I can you see that powder? The mattes are pretty dusty, which I'm not used to from an Urban Decay shadow. Like I said, the Born to Run one is probably my favorite formula that I've worked with. And this does not seem to be the same formula so far. I really want to like this. Okay, so here's where we are at the moment. I honestly am not jumping up and down over it. It's okay. Let's just keep going. Let's go in with Bucked. So we're gonna need a little bit deeper brown, very medium toned, and let's put this on the outer corner. It is a little bit warmer than I was expecting. I am not a huge, like, super warm tone wearer. I'm like a little bit of like a peachy orangey, but not like the browns in this are very warm, which a lot of people like. So if you like warm browns, then they're pretty. It's just a little bit warm for me. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take Angel Fire and I'm gonna put this on my lid. I'm hoping this will, some redemption here, and make this palette worth the purchase. It's fine, but at this moment, I'm a little bit let down. Just to use some more color, I'm gonna take Distilled and put this, I'm just gonna use my finger again and put this on the outer half. Just to see how this one looks. I think this would be a really good chocolatey smoky eye if you put this all over the lid. This color is pretty. It's not something I'm gonna use every day though. A lot of the everyday shades in this palette are not everyday shades for me personally, which is frustrating. Okay, so we've got that. Now I'm going to deepen up the corner with some matte. This is the shade Endgame. This one's not as dusty as the other mattes, which is good since it's a dark one. So I'm gonna place this in the outer corner and I wanna pull this up and in the crease a little bit. And then blend it out with my fluffier brush. Over here. This brown is very pigmented. I actually really like this shade. I like Endgame and I like Distilled. I'm gonna have to play with this palette a few times to get a better feel of how I can wear it every day. This is pretty, but I don't know that this goes with what I normally like to put on. And it is extremely powdery. Look, it's just everywhere. The Anastasia one is powdery as well, so, but they do seem to blend okay. Okay, I'm gonna take Retro and see how this looks on the lower lash line, just for some fun. And then I'm gonna take Endgame, that dark shade, and get it a little bit closer and on the edge. Okay, let me look and see how this is. Okay, so I'm gonna put on some mascara and we're gonna see what this looks like and we're gonna talk a little bit. I would typically put on eyeliner with this look, but I want you to be able to see the eyeshadow. Just put a tiny bit of mascara on. It looks really pretty in the monitor. Like, I think it looks good. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple of swatches comparing them just right here, live here, and then I'll do some close-ups of them all swatched by each other. But I wanna be able to talk about them some. So again, we have Sultry and Naked Reloaded. So I'm gonna start with the obvious one, the pink one. And to me, it is very different. So I'm just gonna do this. Okay, we're gonna put, wow, the texture of them, just touching them feels very different too. The Urban Decay, when I put my finger in it, it was really soft and like, not a little bit crumbly, like it just kind of, it dug in more. And the Anastasia one, it was a little bit stiffer. So here is the Urban Decay and here is the Anastasia. To me, very different shades. And see how this, I don't know if you see, but it's crumbly right here with just one swatch. Obviously I can smooth it out, but it is a little bit crumblier. This one is way more orange and this one's more pinky. And I personally prefer the pinky one. Again, personal preference on the color. Okay, I'm gonna swatch the two darker brown shades. So again, Urban Decay, Endgame, and Anastasia Dystopian. So Urban Decay, Endgame, and Anastasia. Now the Urban Decay swatched a little bit better. The Anastasia one is, again, it's a little stiffer. But those two are very similar. Those are very similar. I think those on the eye would not look very different at all. There's really not many that are similar, like exact dupes. I mean, obviously there's a light tone in both that are gonna be very similar, but those are, you know, cause see, other than that, like those are, here, these two. Again, the Urban Decay is really, really soft. Distilled and Birch, those are close, but So Urban Decay and Anastasia, those are close. I do see a slight difference, but the Urban Decay swatched really well for that one. But again, it's softer, and so more is coming off onto my finger. They're softer, they're powderier, they kick up more dust, which is weird to say. A palette is powderier than Anastasia. I'm kind of shocked by the comparisons here. Okay, and let me compare one of the shimmer shades. We have Angel Fire, which I put on my lid and is very crumbly. And then Pearl, which is also pretty crumbly, but it's a little bit softer in the Anastasia in this instance. I have no more room. This is the Urban Decay that I'm wearing on my lid, and this is the Anastasia. Anastasia looks a little more pinky. Well, yeah, this one looks a little bit more pinky and this is a little more peachy. I think overall the shades in the two, the Naked Reloaded is a little more peachy and warm. Anastasia one has a little bit more reflectiveness. It's a little bit more shimmery. I think because like the Angel Fire on my eyes doesn't stand out as much as I know the Pearl would. I'm gonna go for this. Look, the Pearl, you put this is one of my favorite shades. I just love this one. Okay, I'm gonna even it out now. It's a little bit lighter of a shade too. This one has more white than gold in it. Like, it just makes it pop so much more. I'm gonna insert here the comparison of the two side by side. I'm gonna take a picture of it and put it in here. Let you look at that. So you can kind of see. The Anastasia has 2 extra shades, so keep that in mind. And then we're gonna go into doing some brush swatches for the Naked Reloaded palette so you can see how they actually perform with a brush instead of just my finger. So let's try this one. This one's really dense, so it should pick up a lot. That does pretty well. Clean that off. Again, look at all the dust. Let's see if this one does. Not a whole lot. Does a wash of color. That one's not too bad. This is the one that I'm most disappointed in. Oh, look at that. Nothing. It doesn't do well with the finger. Oops. Or a brush. It's retro. Sorry, I got that a little close together. That one does fine with the brush. And that one does okay. This one swatched really well with the finger. Let me see. That's actually not bad with the brush. That's pretty. Wow. Look at all the powder right there. End game. Oh, whoa. Look at all that. That's a lot of powder. Okay. I gotta turn it this way. Ooh. That is so chunky. Like, I don't know if you can see this. It's so chunky. Ew. I'm gonna go ahead and say that's the chunkiest shadow I've ever swatched. Once it's blended out, it looks okay. Ugh. But man, that doesn't feel good just picking it up in the pan. I'm just gonna go ahead and go into, into the brush swatch. Oh yeah. That does not stick to the skin with the brush. Ugh. It's weird because, so that was Dreamweaver. That one's super chunky and dusty. But the next one over, Distilled, I use this one on my lid, and this one is so much creamier. And it sticks a lot better. Let's see what it does with a brush. Not a whole lot. But it doesn't flake off like the other one did. Alright, next is Bucked. That one was pretty smooth. Alright, let's see how it goes on with a brush. That one's a good shade. It's so weird. These are so hit or miss. And then we have Boundaries, this more orangey shade down here. This one does well, but I don't like how orange it is. It looks really, really orange on me. But it performs well. And then the last one is Blur, which again, that's like my skin tone, so not really gonna be able to see a whole lot, but, and again, dusty. Very, very dusty. Okay, so in conclusion, I think you know which one I like better, which I'm really upset about. I really, really, really want to love this one more. It's pretty, but I don't know. I need to play with it more because I really hope I fall in love with this. I do like the packaging. I'm not a huge fan of this. It's a little scratchy. I mean, and some glitter does come off, but I have used this one some, and I find that I like the tones in this one better, but I like cooler tones. So if you have the Sultry, you don't need this one. It is different. It is warmer, but if you have the Sultry, you don't need this one. If you don't have either one, I say if you want a cooler toned neutral look, go with the Sultry. If you want a warmer toned, go with the Naked. It doesn't perform poorly. It blends well, but I do like the packaging of it. I wish the light shimmer shade popped a little bit more, because that's one thing I really like, to have a very light shimmer shade on my lid, especially for like an everyday. But so for me, I would go with Sultry. So I hope that was helpful. I'm not sure if it was, but there you go. That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did like this, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you want to see future videos, hit that subscribe button down below. And I will see you guys next time. Stay gorgeous. Bye. Oh, my hair's a mess. Why didn't you tell me? Okay. Oh. Man, my makeup is not looking the greatest. Like, oh, it looks all crusty. I don't have time to redo it. That's okay.